Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to automate contact and deal creation in HubSpot from Webhook response. So here my objective is that to create a contact and a deal in my HubSpot account with the help of the response that we are going to receive in our Webhook. So let's suppose I'm using an application which is not natively integrated with Pabbly Connect. And to create an integration between the application and Pabbly Connect, we will be using Webhook by Pabbly. And as I have used Webhook by Pabbly, I will be receiving a response in my Webhook. And as I have received the response, I want to create a contact and a deal with the help of the response that we have received in my HubSpot account. After that, I also want to associate the deal with the contact that we have created in my HubSpot account as well. For that, what we are going to do is, we are going to create an automation between Webhook by Pabbly and HubSpot with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you want to learn how to do this, then let me take you all to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to automate contact and deal creation in HubSpot from Webhook response. So here my objective is that to create contact and deal in HubSpot with the Webhook response. So let's suppose I want to connect an application which is not natively integrated with Pabbly Connect. Therefore, in trigger, I'm going to use Webhook by Pabbly to create a connection between applications which is not connected with Pabbly Connect. And in this case, what I will be doing is, I will be using Pabbly Form Builder as an application which is not natively connected with Pabbly Connect. Although it is natively connected, but for all of you guys, I will be taking it as an example for all of you to understand. So how are we going to create an automation between these applications? For that, we're going to use Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign in to our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign in to my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly Apps window in front of you, in which you can see the 5 applications of Pabbly, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on Access Now. After clicking on Access Now, you will be landed towards Pabbly Connect's dashboard. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, to click on the top right corner button right over here that says Create Workflow. Then a new dialog box is going to appear in front of you, which is asking for a workflow name. So I'm going to give a name to my workflow as Automate Contact and Deal Creation HubSpot from Webhook response. This is the name that I want to give to my workflow. If you want, you can give a name to your workflow according to your requirement. Next, it is asking for us to select a folder. On the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this drop down arrow right over here. So these are the folders that I've created in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select HubSpot Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving a name to our workflow and selecting the folder, we're going to click on Create in order to create a workflow. Our workflow is created in the name of Automate Contact and Deal Creation HubSpot from Webhook response, and there are 2 windows in front of you. One says Trigger, another says Action. Trigger and Action are the 2 most important steps of our automation process, because our process depends on these 2 concepts. Over here, Trigger says when this happens, and Action says do this. That means our action is response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. Firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to set up our trigger step. And as I've already told you, for the trigger, we are going to select it as Webhook by Pabbly. And why do we use Webhook by Pabbly? So that any application which is not natively integrated with Pabbly Connect, for that we're going to use Webhook by Pabbly. And for the trigger event right over here, we're going to select it as Catch Webhook Recommended. So I'm going to select my trigger event as Catch Webhook Recommended. After that, you can see over here, Pabbly Connect has provided us with a Webhook URL. With the help of this unique Webhook URL, we're going to connect applications which are not natively integrated with Pabbly. Firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, we're going to use this URL to create a connection. And as I've already told you that, and just for the example for all of you guys, I will be using Pabbly Form Builder, and I'm going to connect Pabbly Form Builder with Pabbly Connect. So how are we going to connect this? Firstly, you can see this is the dashboard of Pabbly Form Builder right over here. On the left side of my screen, you can see there are multiple options, from which we are going to select integration right over here. After clicking on integration, you will see it says Webhooks right over here, and from Webhooks you can see right over here it says Add Webhook. We're going to click on it. Then a new dialog box is going to appear in front of you, which is asking for a Webhook URL. Over here, we're going to paste the unique Webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. After pasting the Webhook URL, we're going to click on Save right over here. Over here, you can see that webhook is saved successfully. So if I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect, over here it is saying waiting for webhook response. So now what we're going to do is, after successfully creating a connection between Pabbly Form Builder and Pabbly, what we're going to do is we're going to do a test submission of the form that we have created. And then we're going to check whether Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of the form submission or not. For that, I'm going to open the form that I've created with the help of Pabbly Form Builder. Firstly, I'm going to open the form that I've created. For that, I'm going to go back to Pabbly Form Builder. I'm going to click on dashboard right over here. And yes, as you can see right over here, this is the form that I've created right over here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a test form submission of the form that we have created, and we're going to check whether Pabbly Connect is going to capture the response of the form submission or not. How are we going to do the test form submission? For that, you have to click on share right over here. After clicking on share, you will see that a link is provided to you. We're going to click on copy link, and on a new tab, we're going to paste the link and open the link right over here. So this is the link and this is the form that I've created right over here. We're going to fill this form and then we're going to do a test submission. Firstly, for the first name, I'm going to write it as demo. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as test. For the email over here, I'm going to write it as demotest@pabblytuts.com, and for the phone number over here, I'm going to write in a dummy mobile number. After filling all the details, I'm going to click on submit to do a test submission. As you can see that over here, it says your message has been received successfully. So this means that we have done the test form submission successfully. Now I'm going to open up Pabbly Connect and the workflow that we have created, and we're going to check whether the response of the submission that we have done right now is captured by Pabbly Connect or not. For that, I'm going to open my Pabbly Connect workflow that we have created. We're going to scroll down, and yes, as you can see right over here, the response is successfully captured in our Pabbly Connect account. And now to tally the response, for the first name as demo, last name as test, for the number or dummy mobile number, for the email as demotest@pabblytuts.com, and all the other details. So this means that we have successfully created a native integration between Pabbly Form Builder and Webhook by Pabbly, and our trigger setup is done successfully. After setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step. So as my objective was that to automate contact and deal creation in HubSpot with Webhook response. For that, for our action application right over here, we're going to select it as HubSpot. So I'm going to select my action application as HubSpot CRM. And for the action event right over here, I'm going to select it as create a contact. Firstly, what we're going to do is, we're going to create a contact. After selecting our action application and the event, we're going to click on connect in order to connect HubSpot with Pabbly Connect. Then a new window is going to appear in front of you, on which we have to click on add new connection. After that, we're going to click on connect with HubSpot. But if you have an existing connection, you can choose this option. I'm going to click on connect with HubSpot CRM. As you can see that we successfully connected HubSpot CRM with Pabbly Connect. After connecting, it is asking for the company size, date of birth, degree, and there are more fields right over here. I don't require all these fields, so I'm going to skip all these fields right over here. After all these steps, you can see over here it is asking for the first name right over here. So now I require this field right over here, so I'm going to fill in the detail for the first name. For the first name, what we're going to do is we're going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step, so we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this automation process. And how we're going to do that? For that, you have to click on this field right over here, and you can see over here it says Webhook by Pabbly catch Webhook recommended. So this was the previous step of this automation process, and if you're going to click on this arrow, this was the response that was captured in our previous step right over here. As it is asking for the first name right over here, I'm going to map the data for the first name right over here. As I map the data right over here, the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the data right over here in place of this map data is going to be updated. After that, it is asking for the Twitter username, follower count. I'm going to skip the part. For the last name right over here, we're going to map the data again. Click right over here, click on this arrow right over here. We're going to map the data for the last name right over here. Next, it is asking for the salutation, Twitter, profile photo. We're going to skip all these parts. For the email right over here, we're going to map the data for the email as well. Click right over here, click on this arrow. We're going to map the data for the email. And lastly, it is asking for the mobile phone number and the phone number. So for the phone number, I'm going to map the data of the phone number that we have received in our previous response. And as I mapped the required data right over here, I'm going to skip all the other parts right over here. And next, after skipping all the part as I don't require them, I'm going to click on save and send test request. After click on save and send test request, you can see over here responses received, and the response that we have received is a positive response. So if I'm going to take you back to my HubSpot CRM account, a contact should be created in the name of demo test. So I'm going to open my HubSpot CRM account. And yes, as you can see right over here, a contact is created. For the name it says demo test, email as demotest@pabblytuts.com, for a phone number, dummy mobile number. If I'm going to open this contact right over here, so these are all the informations of this contact right over here, and in the place of these deals you can see it says 0. But as we also want to add a deal, what we're going to do is we're going to add another action step in this automation process. How are we going to add that? For that, we're going to click on this plus button right over here, and to add a deal to the contact, what we're going to do is first we're going to create a deal. How are we going to do that? For the action application right over here, we're going to select it as HubSpot. So I'm going to select my action application as HubSpot, and for the action event right over here, we're going to select it as create a deal. Because in order to associate contact with deal, we have to first create a deal. After that, we're going to click on connect in order to connect HubSpot CRM with Pabbly Connect. Then a new window is going to appear in front of you. And as I have the existing connection, I'm going to choose this option. But if you want, you can add a new connection. So I'm going to click on save right over here. As I've already connected HubSpot CRM with Pabbly Connect, it is asking for the currency, business units, and all these values. Firstly, for the currency right over here, I'm going to select it as USD because I want my currency to be in US dollars. So I have written it as USD right over here. Next, it is asking for the business unit. I don't need this, so I'm going to skip the part. It is asking for all these details. I'm going to skip the part for all these details right over here. Next, it is asking for the deal name right over here. So for the deal name right over here, I'm going to write it as demo test deal. I want to give my deal name as demo test deal right over here. For the amount right over here, I'm going to write it as 1200. Next, it is asking for the deal stage and pipeline. I'm going to skip the part. Next, it is asking for the close date. I want this close date right away. If I'm going to scroll down, over here it says for the date format for the close date should be in year, month, and date format. So for the close date right away, I'm going to write it as, for the close date, I've written it as 2024-04-29. That is 29th April 2024 right over here. Next, it is asking for all these details. I'm going to skip all these parts, but if you require these fields, please fill the information in these fields. After that, I'm going to click over here on save and send test request. And yes, as you can see right over here, a response is received, and a response that we have received is a positive response right over here. So after creating a deal right over here, what we have to do is we have to associate the deal with the contact that we have created. So how we're going to do that? For that, what we're going to do is we're going to add another action step. And for the action application right over here, I'm going to take it as HubSpot again. But for the action event right over here, we're going to select it as associate deal with contact. After selecting our action application and the event, we're going to click on connect right over here. Then a new window is going to appear in front of you, and as I have the existing connection, I'm going to select this option, but if you want, you can add a new connection. After that, I'm going to click on save right over here. After clicking on save right over here, you can see it is asking for the deal ID and the contact ID. In the responses of our previous step, we have received the deal ID and the contact ID right over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to map the data of these IDs right over here. How are we going to map the data in place of these fields? We have to turn on this bracket right over here. We have to erase the existing data right over here. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to map the data for the deal ID. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from our previous step. And how are we going to do that? For that, you can see it as it is asking for the deal ID. And we have received the deal ID in the response of HubSpot CRM created deal action step. And as you can see, this is the deal ID right over here. I'm going to map the deal ID right over here. After mapping the deal ID right over here, it is asking for the contact ID. We're going to map the data of the contact ID as well. We're going to turn on this bracket, erase the existing data from here. After erasing, as we want the data for the contact ID, I'm going to map the data of the contact ID right over here. As I map the data right over here, the data has now become dynamic. That means whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the data right over here is going to be updated. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to click on save and send test request. And yes, as you can see right over here, we have received a response, and for the status it says completed. So if I'm going to take you back to the contact that we have created in a HubSpot CRM account, a deal might have been added to the contact. I'm going to open the contact that I've created. I'm going to refresh the page. And yes, as you can see right over here, for the deal it says 1. For the demo test deal is the name of the deal. Amount as $1,200. For the close date as April 29, 2024. So this means that we have successfully created an automation with Pabbly Connect. But now for all of you guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit in another form response with the help of Pabbly Form Builder. And we're going to check whether a contact and a deal is created in our HubSpot account or not. For that, what we're going to do is we're going to open the form that we have created with the help of Pabbly Form Builder. So this is the form that I've created, and to do the test submission, we have to click on share right over here. A link is going to be provided right over here. We're going to copy this link right over here, and then we're going to open the link in a new tab. After opening the link, you can see this is the form that I've created right over here. It is asking for the first name, last name, email and the phone number. I'm going to fill in all the details. So as you can see that I've filled in all the details for the first name as test, last name as account12345, email as testaccount12345@pabblytuts.com, for the phone number, dummy mobile number. After filling all the details, I'm going to click on submit to submit the form. As you can see over here, it says your message has been received successfully. So after submitting the test submission, I'm going to open my HubSpot CRM account and I'm going to check whether a new contact with a deal is added in my HubSpot CRM account or not. For that, I'm going to open my HubSpot CRM account. I'm going to go back to all my contacts. And yes, as you can see right over here, a new contact is added in my HubSpot account. I'm going to open this contact. And yes, as you can see right over here, new contact is added in the name of testaccount12345, for the email as testaccount12345@pabblytuts.com. And over here you can see a deal is also added to this contact in the name of demo test deal of the amount of $1,200 and for the close date as 29th April 2024. So this means that we successfully created an automation with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done. My objective was to create contact and deal in HubSpot with Webhook response. So for the trigger in this workflow, I've taken it as Webhook by Pabbly. We use Webhook by Pabbly. So if any application which is not natively integrated with Pabbly Connect can be connected with Pabbly Connect by using Webhook by Pabbly. So I have used Webhook by Pabbly to connect Pabbly Form Builder with Pabbly Connect, which is actually connected with Pabbly Connect. But for example, I've used Pabbly Form Builder. And for the action, I've created a contact in my HubSpot CRM from the response that we have received in our webhook, and as well as we have created a deal. And lastly, in our HubSpot CRM, we have associated the deal with contact. And this is how we create an automation between all of these applications. So if you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video. Not just with these applications, you can create automation with the help of Pabbly Connect between multiple applications. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask your queries on forum.pabbly.com. If you have any queries regarding the pricing of Pabbly Connect, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment down below if you have any questions and doubts, and please share this video, and thank you for watching.